Hi, I'm going to speak about structure of emotion by referring to the ubiquitous pattern of sustainable progress that manifests as our growth of the seed into a flower. So if we represent this universal pattern of sustainable progress, we have three phases. There's the seed phase, which is really a phase about status quo, and I'll refer to this as the physical. There's a phase of assertive growth, I'll refer to that as the vital, and there's a phase in which the intent that was inherent in the seed becomes apparent, and I'll refer to that as the mental. Now, this is a pattern that occurs across many different kinds of organizations and systems, regardless of scale and regardless of complexity, and it is a movement through time. But similarly, there can be a construction in space comprised of these very three components. So we have a bonded structure in space that's comprised of the vital, the mental, and the physical components. And to give an example, I'll draw on the realm of emotions. So when we consider some very common emotions, let's think about depression, for instance. Now, the vital energy is one of depression. The thought component or the driver behind the depression may be some kind of existential crisis. So there's an existential thought component. And physically, where this might appear in the flower model is more at the seed level, and correspondingly in the human body, this may occur at the root of the torso. Now, if we consider another emotion, a common emotion, that of fear, so that's the energy we feel, so that's the vital component. The thought driver behind it, or the factor responsible for the fear, might be some kind of threat to the notion of self. And physically, where that might occur in the flower model is in the lower stalk region, or if we think about the human body, that might occur in the level of the gut. Consider yet another emotion, that of anger. So that's the vital component. The driver behind it might be some thought around self-righteousness. And physically, where that might occur in the flower model is in the upper stalk region, or correspondingly in the human body, that might be more in the heart region. If we think about another common emotion, that of anxiety, so that's the vital component of energy. The mental component, or the thought component, or the driver behind the anxiety might be some kind of circuitous or issueless thought. And physically, where that would occur in the flower model is more in the region of the flower, and correspondingly in the human body, that might occur in the region of the head. Now, the point is that we have this arrangement of emotion that's structured by these three components. And just as we have the opportunity to change our view or to make progress, sustainable progress through time, we also have the opportunity to make progress by putting attention on these constructions, these bonded constructions in space, and by unbonding them to create something different. So the way that that would work is that if we consider the three elements, the vital or the energetic element brings awareness to us that something, or there's a sense of suffering that something is out of sync. So there's this suffering that brings a greater awareness, and then there's a mental component, and so that suffering makes us think, and we get to the driver behind why we're suffering or why we're having this kind of emotion. And so there's the opportunity to increase our knowledge of self and of things around us. And if we do that, then physically there's a release, and there's the opportunity for a new structure to emerge. Now, how that might show up in the human body is as areas of more space, light, peace, and calm. So the dawning of inner suns in the various parts where these previously bonded structures had existed. And this will manifest as a greater amount of knowledge, a greater amount of love, and a greater amount of peace or calm.